I have an insider question for you.
Ooh, okay.
Do celebrities get nervous talking to you?
Oh, absolutely.
Interesting.
I think it's kind of cool being at a brand that people think of as a celebrity. Like people,
Sure. People's an iconic brand.
It's an iconic brand, and people will come into a situation and you're like, okay, wait, this is my people interview.
Right.
This is my people interview.
Right. Your people.
And sometimes you have to calm them down as well.
On today's Exit interview, we're on air with People's editor-at-large and host, Janine Rubenstein. She's managed to master both writing the story and being in it, proving that authenticity can resonate on every platform.
Well, we want to welcome you, Janine Rubenstein, to the Exit interview. We're so excited to have you here today. Janine is a journalist, a red carpet host, our favorite mom on Instagram, and of course, editor-at-large of People magazine. So welcome, Janine, to the Exit interview.
Thank you. I'm not getting fired, right?
No. No, absolutely not.
Good. Well, happy to be here.
In that case. So we'd love to just, jump into kind of the origin stories of your current iteration. I love that you've had such a storied career at People and have done all kinds of things. So we'd love for you to just sort of tell the people how you got your start in the industry and kind of a little bit about the journey that's led you to your current moment.
Well, it was a sunny day, May 12th, 1985.
Come on, specificity.
And I burst into the world. I'll fast forward past all that. No, I have loved writing and journalism since as early, literally, as I can remember. And my mom still has this piece of paper from a school project or something. I was 7.
Oh.
And I said, I'm going to be a magazine writer and a songwriter. And
let's go.
Literally found it in storage somewhere. And she was like, you knew what you wanted to do.
I love it.
And that really carried me throughout everything. I always leaned into my English classes and any kind of writing opportunity. And I pursued that at UC Berkeley undergrad. They didn't have a journalism major. I knew I wanted to write for a magazine. So I just did English, which was great, learned a lot. But when I started applying, they don't care about Chaucer and Beowulf and all of those things. They want to know, what's the inverted pyramid? Can you write a story?
Right.
And I went to grad school finding that, this is around the .com stuff that was going on and the housing crisis. Right. And we millennials have been through a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Remember the 2008, she shall live in infamy.
All of it. So went to grad school. So happy that I did at USC journalism, studied print and digital. And just that was really where I honed my skills when it came to networking.
Right.
I knew how to write. I knew how to tell a story, but there's something about, USC, I think, really that tells you no, this is how you get the job.
Oh, okay. All right. And shout out. Go Trojans.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, go Bears. I'm a Cal Bear through and through. Go Bears. But thanks for giving me the job, Trojans.
Right.
Yeah. And it was just a lightning bulb went off. And coming out of there, I had an opportunity to either write for a newspaper back in the Bay Area where I'm from San Francisco, or to go to New York for an internship, which was not a guaranteed shot. And the newspaper had a staff job, I was going to be a newspaper writer.
Health insurance.
Yeah. And I was really interested in crime and hard news at the time. And I, went back and forth, and I decided to take the internship in New York because at my core, I knew I wanted to write for magazines, and I needed to shake things up and get out of California for a little bit.
What attracted you to magazines?
Oh my gosh. I mean, to this day, my grandmother has a pile of magazines in each bathroom.
Yes.
Essence and Ebony.
Come on. Classic staples.
And Jet as well.
Oh, yes. You can't leave out Jet. Can't leave out Jet.
And now she has piles of People magazines all over the house,
Right.
of course.
Of course.
But with that early exposure to like going to the bathroom, grabbing a magazine and finding out like the news and what was going on in Black America and, you know, who the Jet Beauty of the Week was. I thought that was like the best one.
That was everything back in the day. Yeah.
And to this day, we just went and surprised her recently, my siblings and I. We did like, we got it off of TikTok where you go like do a pop-up sleepover at your grandma's.
Yes. Oh, yes. And everyone just walks in. Yes.
So my brother and my sister and I just did that. And I went back to the bathroom and those Jets are still sitting there, those essences.
I love it.
So that was like, I think my early exposure. And I just loved writing and storytelling and being able to just really package a story, take all those pieces and put them together to something that feels like poetry from early on. I took the internship out in New York and honestly, I haven't looked back. I mean, I'm back in California now, but I have been with, I was Essence during the internship, but that was in the Time Inc. brand. And at the time, Essence is no longer in the brand, but we have evolved and grown and People was under that umbrella. And I made my way through the building telling them like, hey, I'm at this internship, but
however,
like, I'm grown, and I got grown bills and I want to write. So who wants me?
Right.
And I landed at People as an editorial assistant, sorting books for the books editor. Shout out to Kim Hubbard. She's amazing. And just making my way and asking, raising my hand wherever I could. One of the earliest things I did was magazine. Think Devil Wears Prada and think like you do what you do and like stay out of everybody else that's important's way. That's that type of space, or at least it was when I was coming up. And I did that, but I also leaned in like quiet ways. Like I remember poking my head into Kim's office one time and being like, hey, I know you just assigned this this write-up on this book. I think it's so cool. I know it wouldn't be published, but can I just like ghost write it myself as well, just for you to look at it? Like, I know it's not going to go anywhere, but I just want to pretend like you gave it to me and write it up on deadline and have you read it just for my own purposes. And that went over really well. And she was like, this is great.
Was that like a gut intuition of yours?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was scared straight when I went to grad school because like our first day in with the orientation, they were like, 10 of you are going to work in magazines. Most of you are going to have to do something else. This whole industry is in a blender right now. Like newspapers are dying. Like you're screwed. And I took that as, I got to be one of those 10 people. Absolutely. That works in magazines.
Absolutely.
What do I have to do? And so being in New York, it gives you that like, that grind, that dog,
get it from the mud,
like,
baby.
what do you got to do?
From the mud.
And I applied that as much as I could, whenever I could. I was, popping my head in. Do you need anything? Yes, I'll do menial things. But I will also let you know that I'm ready, willing, and able to do more. So, yeah. No,
that's amazing that you kind of found ways. And we talk about this a lot with other people, like finding your like pockets of things, ways that you can show up differently to your bosses, ways that you can network within the company, get to be known.
Creating opportunity.
Absolutely. And you'll be surprised at how many people, secretly want to be a mentor in that way. Like not on paper, nobody has time, like all that. But like, if you're like, hey, I just did this. Could you look at this for me? Yes, absolutely. Let me give it a read. Like, this is great. Work on this. And I took all of those opportunities.
So smart.
And I think that's why I've been able to morph myself into so many different iterations at the same brand for 13 years now.
How do you keep your enthusiasm or confidence to keep pitching after a couple of no's, or when you ask for something and they say no? What is your secret sauce to just being persistent?
Well, my very good friend Beyonce once said.
You know her too?
Oh
my God.
No, we go way back. Oh my goodness, say my name. Anyways, I forget what interview this was. It was back when she did interviews, all of that. Oh, that's actually what I want to do.
That's how long ago
That's what I want to do next in my career. I want to interview Queen Bee.
Absolutely.
Just putting it out there. You know, whatever.
Hey, she watches the podcast. What are you talking about?
Are you watching?
Love her.
Her and Oprah are watching it right now.
I did interview her mom this year for her book, for Matriarch. That was amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
1 degree away, but I got to talk to the Queen Mother.
Exactly.
So there's that.
Exactly.
But no, Beyonce said many moons ago, like it was 100 no's and 1 yes for Destiny's Child.
Right.
Like they pitched themselves up and down.
Right.
Atlanta, Hollywood, you name it. They were trying and everyone was like, absolutely not. What? No.
Right.
Destiny's Child, biggest girl group in the world. I mean, so that is, I always think about that when I'm thinking, if I want something, if I'm going for something and I think something is for me or should be for me, keep asking, what is that going to do? Right. Like, you know, it doesn't hurt you. And somebody is going to say yes. Also, another thing I say is never accept a no from someone who does not have the authority to give you a yes.
Come on. Come on.
There you go.
Go on around.
That's a whole scripture.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'm just going to check over here.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You know, and not in a like, let me talk to your manager kind of way, but like, okay, great. I'm just going to, you know, look into these other avenues as well, just to be sure.
Just to check. I'm just going to check.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Right. So you went from, you're working for the book editor, like how did it kind of progress from there?
I was editorial assistant for the book editor, which was like a permalance thing. Like I was full time, but not, and that turned into me leaning into the crime and human interest side of the magazine and the site, which a lot of people don't know. Yes, People Magazine does a lot of crime, a lot of human interest work. And that's what all my clips were. I mean, I had done a fellowship in South Africa covering crime. I had done a fellowship in Israel covering everything that was going on there at the time. So like I had this with me while I was getting coffees and doing everything else. I had that under my belt and I would, you know, let people know it was there. Right. And I got a role, still permalance, on the crime and human interest team covering the worst of the worst that was happening in New York and around the area at the time. And I think it was around 2014 when I feel like, okay, I'm tired of talking to people on the worst day of their lives every day.
Right.
And I was happy enough to have made relationships at the company and the entertainment team had an opening and was looking for someone on the TV side to cover TV and all of that, which I love. And I'd always been, who doesn't love TV? Right. And I became a TV writer and did that for a couple years, which was so great. And I, you know, highlight of that was like SNL's 40th. We're in their 50th
I know,
year
we're the
now,
50th now.
But it was SNL's 40th and I was a fly on the wall for a week at NBC. Following, it was, I think Kevin Hart was hosting that week.
Right.
And I was pregnant out to here, like 8 months pregnant, having the time of my life. Like, you know, from just the set designers to I got to sit in on the pitches where they were like just shooting the wall with Lorne Michaels. And it was a dream. So I loved my time on the TV team.
It sounds like you didn't miss a beat during pregnancy.
Oh, no, not at all. I think Reese popped out like a couple weeks later, literally like I was on the floor as they were running past, like, go left, we're going live. Like, what's the baby? No, literally Kevin Hart bumped into me and he was like, I didn't do it. I pointed to myself.
It wasn't me. That's hilarious.
So and then from there, it just happened that our music editor was going on maternity leave. And when she came back, she decided to, you know, go in a different route and she left and went into Silicon Valley and all of that. And they had tapped me in her interim to fill in for music editor. Ended up loving it. I'm kind of all over the place. So I'm a music head as well. Love music.
But you're like a pop culture girly though.
I think
like
so.
You love it all. Yeah.
And that was great. I feel like that was even more of a melding of like my personal and my professional. I was started as staff, and then I was senior editor of music over the music team, and had, you know, a bunch of different people I was managing and all of that. And then again, another happenstance, people decided that they wanted to get into the podcast space. And this was circa 2020.
Nothing was happening in 2020. It's a quiet year, you know.
So I inked all that like late 2019. This is going to be great. We're going to podcast. We're going to have people in the studio, all of this.
The good old days.
And then no.
All right.
But it still happened. We still launched people every day. You know, really ambitious, a daily podcast, doing everything that we do at the magazine. And I think they decided to go with me outside of outside talent or anything like that, because I really got the brand, and I had done so many different things already.
Right.
Like, not too many people had touched crime and human interest and TV and music. And that was the energy.
Right. So you were able to bring all of that together to bear in the podcast because you're already familiar with all the different depths.
Yeah.
For each of the new opportunities that you had come to you while you were at People over that duration of time, were you always opening your eyes and kind of looking to see what was coming, or was it just organically kind of coming your way?
It's random. It's a little bit of both, especially with when I was shifting from crime to the entertainment team, which is like just a whole other wing of the brand. I was like, I'm ready for a change. I need to, you know, I think it was like a killer nanny on the Upper West Side that like, or something else that was just like, all right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, true crime. I worked in true crime and on the documentary side for years. And
it's a lot.
It can get heavy.
And I'm a bit of a bleeding heart too. And I would hide it,
feel it,
you know, for the years that I did it. And I do want to get the story no matter what.
Of course.
But,
Yeah.
So, so that one, I kind of positioned myself, you know, I made sure people knew that I wanted to make that transition. But other than that, after that, things just started falling into place, and it all aligned with me wanting to grow at that time and wanting to expand, which is really cool. And I remember when I started at People, even when I had just signed on, I think with the crime team, someone had said, you know, be careful. People will make a lifer out of you. They like to make lifers out of people. Don't get caught. And you know, and I have my husband, he has, you know, changed, you know, in finance and tech world, now that they change and switch and go for the next biggest paycheck and all of that. And I was like, no, I'm not going to become a lifer. I'm going to go where the money is. I'm going to do all the 13 years later. But it's because I truly believe it's because I've had so many growth opportunities and I wasn't pigeonholed for whatever wonderful reason. And I've been able to just do so many new things. And after music editor came the podcast. I did that for 2 years. It was fantastic. I got to really just dig in every single bag that I have every day, literally 6 a.m. morning meeting for the
daily
podcast.
Show is no
we were
joke.
out by, I think, around 2 p.m. It was like live because we wanted to hit that like happy hour time in New York.
So a lot of that had to be mostly good in one shot because there's not a lot of editing time for that.
Oh, yeah. I had some great editors along the way. It was like, let's go. Let's get this out the door. Because we wanted to, that's People. We are up to the second.
Right.
And what's happening. And we wanted people to feel like they got their entire day of what they needed to know to be able to go into that dinner party.
Right. Be like, you heard about?
Wow. What?
All the tea.
What really happened was.
Right.
And we at the tail end, we had celebrity interviews, not every day, depending on like the news cycle and how crazy it was out there. But we would have people stop by.
And what great training. I mean, it's a grind to have to do it every day. But like you said, like after a while, you learn like how to do a soundbite, like what really works, what your audience is responding to. And you're getting it in real time and like kind of getting it into your cellular, you know, getting it on a cellular level.
How to pivot. And,
how do you what's the secret to staying so nimble?
Oh my gosh. Caffeine. And
what's your drink order?
Jesus.
Always Jesus.
I was in like caramel macchiato days. Right.
Like,
give me all the
at
pumps.
9 and at 4. Right?
Give me all the pumps.
All right. And how is it? Because you're have kids at this time, or like, did you have both kids by this time? Or
So again,
how was that for you?
Pregnant 2020. I was out to here in 2020 when we started the podcast with Raimi. So Reese is my 10-year-old and Raimi is 5. And I, doing the podcast, launching the podcast, kicking all of that off, top of 2020 while in the house and being a makeshift kindergarten teacher because I had to be to Reese, who was 5 at the time. And like trying to politely tell him, okay, go do your art class with Bob Ross on the TV right now. Mommy has to record.
Shout out Bob Ross, still teaching the children.
I had stations.
For generations.
I had stations.
Yes, I believe it.
He did all the things that I thought a kindergarten teacher would do. But it was a lot. Yeah. And when we moved to LA, because that was actually one of the things I said when I signed on for the podcast, I said, okay, we are doing this. The world is kind of collapsing. So I want to move back to California and I want, a podcast booth in my garage, wherever I move in California, because all I can do is record these podcast shows and be on Zillow and Redfin because I'm over the East Coast. Sorry for any East Coasters out there, but like it was no place to pandemic. Let me tell you that. At all. So that it was a lot of transition. Sure. And Raimi comes. We move not long after that, and I did the podcast out of my studio in my garage for a year after that in LA, which was great. And then everything kind of changed again. And this was one of those moments that I didn't plan for. It was top of 2023 and the podcast ended and they were like, but we don't want you to go anywhere, Janine. And I think one of the smartest things I did when I signed on for that pivot, the podcast, was to say, okay, I still want to have a foot in, what has made people, which is our print product. That's great. And our digital juggernaut, which is people.com. And now the People app and all the different iterations of People, just content creation, cranking out the content that I've been doing, be it crime, human interest, sourcing and putting people up on the T. What's going on out there in Hollywood. That's in my bones. And as much as I love hosting and interviewing and all of that.
The writing is like still the core.
Writing is still something that I do love deeply. It's now, I think it's like a 50-50 split now because I've been doing a lot of hosting. But I that happened. Podcast goes away. I was heartbroken for a little bit. But I was able to lean in at a brand that loves me and that I love and, lean into my editor at large title, bring in cover stories and break news and do all of that.
And huge interviews.
Really big interviews. All while also they tapped me and said, you're not hosting the podcast anymore, but we want you to do even more red carpet hosting, which I thought was fantastic. And because of that podcast experience, I was able to take whatever was coming down that red carpet. And I've been doing that for years now at the biggest shows, Grammys, Oscars, SAG Awards, you name it. So I am in this whole new iteration now.
But you've been training for it for so long, it feels like.
So if you ever need +1, we are available.
We just hold the mic,
I love it.
I'll hold your reflector, your lighting. I'll be that person. You were able to successfully navigate people going through an acquisition. And you continued to move up the ranks through that acquisition and thereafter. What advice would you give for somebody who's mid-career or even a seasoned professional who's now facing a company acquisition or just completed one? And that obviously comes with a lot of changes within the culture and the company. What would be your advice or strategy to successfully navigate that if they want to stay with the company?
I think a big piece of advice, especially coming from a legacy media brand that we all took, well, not all of us, but a lot of us took, was to make sure that you are open and you are listening and you are hearing and you are taking in the change that is coming. Closing your ears off and being negative and being like, I don't know what they're talking. All of that energy that begets negative energy and you don't want that in your space.
Right.
So like, okay, what is this company about? Let me do some research. Let me lean in. Oh, that's actually a really good platform. And that's a really good idea they had or really good innovation that whatever it is, study up like you are about to apply for that company because you are.
Because you are.
You're going to apply to keep your job.
Right.
So yeah, that
Just
was
figuring out like what new avenues you might be able to get into, what their priorities might be based on who they are,
what their energy is, like really study up in that space, but also just lean into what is to come if it's for you. And that, it might be something where you're like, nah, I'm out.
So you've done to that point, you've done so many now, like huge interviews, iconic interviews for the magazine.
Yeah.
What are ones that stand out for you?
Okay, I love this question and I hate this question all at the same time. Oh gosh. Okay, there's so many different ones, but I'm going to start with one that like I really love. That's going to be a bit of a deep cut for you guys. But I interviewed Winona Ryder. In New York, and I am such a fan of her. Like, kind of not Brat Pack, but Brat Pack days. Like just that Welcome Home Roxy Carmichael and all these things. And she had been out of the spotlight at the time for a long time for many reasons. And this was kind of like her first interview after that. And I was so nervous. It was at the Peninsula and like all this stuff. Yeah. And I just remember sitting there and I didn't know going in for whatever reason. I did my research, but not enough, I guess. I didn't know she was from San Francisco and I was from San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And we sat there. It was supposed to be like a 20-minute interview, over an hour. Her rep was like, wrap it up. There was also one that comes to mind, very recent, Cheryl Lee Rowe.
Yeah, we love her.
I love so much.
She's all of our aunties. We just love her.
Goodness. Be still my heart. She is such a queen and has had such a journey. And I was able to sit with her and just, our conversation ran the gamut. Like her first movie was with Sidney Poitier.
Oh my God.
Sidney Poitier.
Right.
Like we're sitting up there, like watching her on Abbott Elementary kill it. That reinvigorated me. Just to talk to her. There are certain interviews that like really sit with you. And she was one. I mean, Dream Girls, all the Moesha.
Right.
So many things.
The icon.
And then there was another interview with Matt Damon. That was really cool. This was one of those like, he
doesn't do that many interviews.
He doesn't do that many interviews, and he wasn't supposed to do this one. So let me tell you about it.
Oh, okay.
Get it.
I was at a party for it was like a screening party for Argo for Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Big movie, they, really wanted to get the word out about it. I was supposed to get like, a couple minutes with Ben about the movie. It ended up being like, just a bunch of reporters like sticking our mics up to get a couple of quotes. But there milling about was Matt Damon. And I saw him like, he was kind of just hanging out. Nobody was bothering him. It wasn't his night. He was there for his boy.
He was there to support.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went up and you just started small talking with him. And I told him, I was like, oh my goodness, that's so cool. He was just raving about Ben and how excited he was for him and all that. And I was like, do you mind? I'm with People Magazine. Can I this is great.
Right.
And pull out my voice memo. It's still on there. And we end up talking for over 10 minutes, like 12. And, not forcing it at all. We were just having a great conversation. And we started talking about his career and his wife and their relationship and all the things. And I come back to the office and everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
what is this? And I'm like,
how did you do that?
It's Matt Damon. He's great.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't talk to him about it? What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah. Just Tuesday, me and Matt, kicking it as one does.
Yeah. It was mostly him just weighing in on Ben. And this moment that Ben was in. But I always remember that being like, oh, we talking.
Right.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that's part of your like approach and style with interviews. Like if you can talk about that a little bit, like how do you approach like being prepared for interviews? Like how do you approach connecting to people? Like how do you kind of get into the zone?
Yeah. With me, especially now that I've done it for so long, I really try to, and just thinking of, where people are coming from and the times we're in and all of that. I just like to like set out the fact that they are human beings. That is a person. I don't care how big their celebrity is. I don't care how many followers they have. I don't care like what I last saw them in. I can be excited or whatever, but that is a person. And I want to approach it from that space. This is a human being who probably just dropped off their kids or picked up their kids or might have gotten into a car accident or whatever it is.
Right.
And I try to connect first and foremost on their humanness. And I also like, do a little internet stalking right before. I like to go and look at if they have social media. What's the last thing they posted? What's, where's their head at coming into this? So I know how to kind of frame myself. Like if that person was like, I can't stand this, blah, 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 blah. I'm so mad.
Right.
2 hours before I meet them.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not going to come in like, hey, how's your day?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and also sometimes you're dealing with people like the story for people is after something big has happened culturally, a divorce, a marriage, a scandal even, a healthy... Yes. So, when you're trying to get people to talk about those kinds of things, I mean, it sounds like you mentioned some of it.
You want them to know that not only are they human, you're human. You are not, I'm not people. I'm Janine Rubenstein. I'm a journalist and I am, of course, there for a job, but I want to connect with you. I want to have a conversation with you so that we can actually get to those places and get there in a way that you feel comfortable and that, we're really able to communicate what's going on and your humanness to the millions of other humans who are going to read it. Right.
What's the icebreaker to bring their guard down when it's a topic that maybe isn't as pleasant that they don't want to necessarily discuss?
What's a good icebreaker?
Take notes,
I love your hair.
Listen, like I said, if it's a black woman, honey, you have a 20-minute conversation about that hair.
You look good, girl. And they usually do. But no, one of the things I like to go in, especially when it's a tougher subject or a tougher conversation that we're going to have, is to find, myself in it. And bring that to the table and saying like, I, saw what happened, of course, with your son and what you all are going through. I have a 10-year-old. Right. And I haven't been there, but I've been there in a sense and that blah, 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 whatever it is. Yeah. And like, just allow them to know that we're in this community together, that things happen to all of us. Nobody's trying to gotcha and, well, why didn't you? There's a time for tough questions. There really are. And I have not been there in all of these different situations. Thank God. Yeah. Celebrities go through a lot. Yeah. But there is a way that you can approach it to where you're telegraphing understanding and you're telegraphing that you're meeting them in the middle of whatever it is they're going through. And I think that has always boded really well for me. And sometimes even when it's just like, I'm not going to talk about that, I'll follow it up with, no, I fully understand because, however I phrase it, but I'll bring myself into it then. And then sometimes that'll open up them saying what they have to say. Right. So it's a dance. It is a dance.
I have an insider question for you.
Ooh, okay.
Do celebrities get nervous talking to you?
Oh, absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
They're not used to it all the time.
Not all the time. Some are, it's run of the mill, but there are a lot of celebrities who, I think it's kind of cool being at a brand that people think of as a celebrity. Like people,
People's an iconic brand.
It's an iconic brand and, people will come into a situation and be like, okay, wait, this is my people interview. Right. This is my people interview.
Right. Your people
and sometimes you have to calm them down as well and tell them like, it's perfectly fine. It's this is going to be great. We want to make you look the best that you possibly can. Right. So that's fun. You get that a lot with the social media stars too. They're like, oh my God.
It's like a real place.
Yeah.
Off of Instagram. It actually exists in the world. I'm curious, have you seen the evolution of the print digital media landscape over this past, 13, 14 years? What do you think? How do you think you and the magazine have stayed relevant? Like what does that take that you survive this long to sort of to continue to be at the tip of the spear.
Yeah, I think it's, a really simple, delicious recipe, which is extraordinary people doing ordinary things, and ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And who doesn't want to see that and feel that? But outside of that, which is our core, it's being nimble. Honestly, like something that aligns with like me and my career. I remember when I started at People, they were thinking so intensely about .com, about, the website and what bringing in new people, bringing in thought leaders, all of these things to figure out how to get it right. Whereas so many other places, including, the newspaper that I was planning on working at, were like, like
they weren't focused on
it, not to the same extent. It was like they were coming from a place of fear as opposed to a place of embracing, like, hey, this is here. What are we doing?
How do we get this right? How are we leaning into it?
And it's always been that way there. Whatever is coming down the pike, like we just launched the People app recently, and it is like, where are people reading? What are they doing? How are they getting their new? Okay, let's meet them there, and let's meet them there in the most high tech, like accessible way possible. And just pouring everything that we have into being, if not first, best, newest in the space. And it's really worked out. If you look at what's going on out there with print media, and that as well, like, our print product is still the best, like that is out there in terms of, availability. We haven't downsized in that way.
It's still on the newsstand when I check out.
It was so funny. I'm not even exaggerating. I got off the plane this morning, and right as I get out the gate, there's a People News store with like People magazines. And I was like, this is like a weird omen happening right now. But of course it was like, of course I had to walk and see what was on the covers and everything. And it's still, there's a novelty to it every single time you see it. It's such an iconic brand that it's just, and it just gives you that warm and fuzzy, like, ooh, what's the tea today?
Exactly.
Like,
and it's people, like it's in the name kind of. And in this space that we're in right now with AI and all of that, like we're still about people. And that doesn't mean we're not embracing AI and figuring out how to make it work for us and incorporating it. But
you're not going to be interviewing AIs. Like
I might, girl. I don't even know, girl.
You're like, listen, never say never.
Ask me in a month or two. I don't know how fast this is going.
To your point earlier, it's ordinary people doing extraordinary things and extraordinary people doing ordinary things. It's about the people.
It really is.
How do you constantly stay on top of things as a mother and editor at large, and always being on top of everything all the time?
This one's always moving.
You have to be on it all the time.
Someone asked me recently, like, yes, but what's your brand? And I said, Happy Chaos, because that is really what is going on. I'm pretty joyful almost all the time. I don't know. It's the Taurus in me. I don't know. But
you're a Taurus too.
Yes. Strong like bull. But that, and it's always just something. Like my job is kind of breakneck. You never know on any given day. Like, Janine, go. We need you to host this. We need you to do that. Can you MC this? Can you like pop into whatever? And same with my kids, because they love a sport. They love an activity. And I'm leaving here literally and going to my son's football game.
Right.
It's a lot, but I also love that. My friends always joke that I have like a FOMO, like a very high level, like grade FOMO.
I have to be there.
And it's like, I'm so tired. Wait, what's going on? And I do. I love people, and I love events, and like I love my kids and all the things that they have going on. And it's not a lot for me to show up. It's it's not a lift for me to just get out there and be out there and say yes. I'm really into saying yes. I do need to exercise my no a little more, but I love yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You have definitely this charm about you. You walk into a room and it's just very radiating. It's very apparent. And this enthusiasm. Did you keep just constant upbeat and enthusiasm throughout your tenure at People and excitement and joy?
No. No. And it's so funny because I am always like this, that when I'm not, it is like,
it's like, is Wayne Brady going to have to cut a bitch?
Okay. All right.
Right.
All my friends are like, what is wrong?
Right. Who did something to Janine?
I'm just not smiling. What do you mean? I always like to let emotions happen to me, but I don't move in. Like I don't live there. Like whatever it is, I know, and I remind myself that this too shall pass. I say that to myself a lot. And that I can get back to joy and get back to all of it. Sometimes it takes some time, takes a few days, especially when, you have podcast deadlines and you just birth someone and you're stuck in the house and it's snowing outside. But
Right.
My mom used to sing like, "You are my sunshine" all the time, and put on a happy face. And I think like from when I was a little baby, and it got stuck in there somewhere.
Sure, right.
Put on a happy face.
Amazing. Well, I want to ask you, because being at a place like People, which is a massive mainstream, culture, like kind of like I said, icon.
Yeah.
And being a Black woman, and being tip of the spear, editor at large, like what's your relationship to representation in that context, like representing the culture, and how do you approach that? Because I'm sure for some of these interviews, there are some cultural competencies that you're bringing to bear. And how do you shoulder that responsibility if you see it in that way?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And it's really twofold. Like, inside the organization, I started off like, work, head down, just, do everything, do what you got to do, all of that. And recently, very recently, actually, I, got a promotion and I'm, in this like kind of corner office space now in our office here in LA. And I had one of the younger staffers, a young Black girl, come in and say, "Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you sitting here like in this office. Like, I love this." And I love her. Her name's Angel. She's a sweetheart. But that did something. And then that very same day, one of our older staffers, an older Black woman comes in and she's like, "I see you sitting there. I see you, girl." And I like that, like just those bookends told me, one, this is so amazing, just like in being here and in representing the way that I am. But also, I need to do more. I need to make sure that this is an open door policy. Like, don't just what do you need? Like, how can I help you? How can I support you?
Right.
All of that. And so I'm just excited to have. I've always had conversations and all of that, but like it just feels different now.
Right.
And it's something that I need to be like even more intentional about.
Right.
But when it comes to interviewing and all of that, man, I follow what I love. I pitch who I love, and who I'm listening to and who I'm watching and all of that. But also there are, some stars out there that will say, "Hey, I want Janine to do this. If I'm going to do this People interview, I want her to do it."
Yeah.
And that's something that started happening a few years ago. And I was like, that's really cool. Like they're seeking me out.
Yeah. I just see people react to you on the carpet. Like people are like, "Janine," like people like running up to you to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because they know what it means. And because obviously they respect how you treat them and how prepared you are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I think of it, you were bringing up, just different cultural conversations and things that like sensitivities that I might bring to it that other people don't. And it reminds me of like, we did a Snoop Dogg cover last year and oh my God, I was so geeked for this. And not to say that, he has fans of all shapes, sizes, all the things like that. But I went in there like, cousin, Uncle Snoop. And he met me there, and he was so happy. And he told me
knew exactly what it was.
Yeah, and he told me afterwards. He was like, "I'm so happy you did this." And you know, I'm from San Francisco. I'm from the Fillmore, which is like, you know, historically a predominantly Black area of San Francisco. And I brought that up in the beginning, and he was like, "What? I got." You know, and we had all these different connections. And so there are things like that you do that at the top of the interview and you set the tone. It just opens you up to like get answers to questions you didn't even think you were going to be able to ask. You know what I mean? Just because you have that familiarity and that understanding and that shared cultural, you know, just bond.
But yeah, how do you, I'm sure people come up to you all the time and want to be, or like, I want to do what you do. How do you, what's your relationship like to that with the media landscape?
I keep it real. It is, you know, it's difficult. It is a difficult industry. It was back then. It was difficult before I even started, you know, to break into. And that's one of the things I noticed, like, you know, it's considered one of those prestige industries, you know, to be able to sit there. And it is like, it's a blessing to be able to, you know, talk to all these different people and talk to your heroes and all of that. And in that space, you know, they kind of expect, especially young people, to just jump right in and be able to do it. And usually not for a lot of money. And the people who are able to do that are people who have, you know, Daddy Warbucks, or like, you know, you know, families that can, you know, no shade to them, but they can support it and they can pursue, you know, a dream like this. And for a lot of others, like, it's just a lot more barriers to entry because you got rent, you know, you have to pay your bills. And what I really like to do is be honest about that, but also like tell people the same thing that I was told, like, we are in a space that has really democratized everything when it comes to your ability to publish, your ability to write, your ability to just get your voice out there like never before. So yes, these, you know, more structured, you know, corporate spaces, the door is like getting more narrow and narrower and narrower, but the opportunity for you to get your voice out there and for you to get clips really in journalism is wide open. You know, like when you're thinking of Patreon or you know, WordPress, whatever you can do to get whatever, when they Google you and like that last article comes up, you know, if it's well written, you're going to be able to use that. And so I tell them that, like, just get to writing, get to hosting, get to whatever you're doing, and getting it out there as much as possible. But also same method. Stick your head in that door, reach out, send that random blind cold email, you know, maybe send it twice, a few times. Like, those are the things that still to this day, even in the AI age, all of it will have you. I mean, my production assistant on the podcast, when I was looking to hire someone, she cold emailed me and sent something through LinkedIn. Didn't know her from Adam. Amazing. And I, you know, looked at the resume. I was like, oh, she, you know, she looks great. Called her in, met with her. She did 2 years with me on the podcast. Amazing. Because that still works. So if you're not doing that, you're either even further behind how crazy it's getting out there to get to your goal. So that's really the advice that I give. And then also, you know, lean in. Once you are there, don't like, it's not over. Lean in.
You're just getting started.
What can you do? Like, your name needs to be on everyone's lips in a good way.
Absolutely.
So what are you doing to do that? Like, who are you helping? Your whole purpose is to make whoever is above you their job easier. So do that first. And then, you know, everything else that you need to do for you. And you will be in good standing.
And that used to be standard training for us, but it feels like you have to tell the people now.
But the ones you don't have to tell, they're rising to the top, you know, like it's
period.
And that's perfectly fine as well. But if you're interested in keeping your job and you're interested in the new company and growing there, lean into it and figure out like where your lane is there, and then be a squeaky wheel about it. One thing I tell everyone, all of these companies, I don't care if it's legacy, if it's startups, whoever it is, they want new, fresh ideas. They want people taking risks. They want people raising their hand and saying, ooh, what if we try this? That will not, you know, I mean, think it through, run it by a few people.
Right.
Don't just knock on the CEO's door and be like, have you heard of TikTok?
Yeah.
Flush it out. Make sure it's new. Make sure it's good. But raise your hand and stick your head out and make sure that you are known, that you are there and you are ready to innovate and you are ready to, accept the new energy and give it right back to them.
Right. Are there things now just in that, with you being where you are in your career, are there things that you like are wanting to do or thinking about like moving forward as you see your career even within the people ecosystem, or like, are we going to see your talk show one day? Like, that's my dream.
You guys are making me feel like it right now.
No, well, you, speaking about like your brand, like you really are. I mean, I know you're at People, but I always have seen you as standalone in that way.
Yeah.
And people just love being around you, and you have such a great way of connecting to people.
Thank you.
So I don't know how much you ideate around that, but just what kind of things do you see for yourself in the future?
Yeah, I love what I do at People, but I at this stage in my career, I do think about like, what else could this look like there or, on my own. And I always think about hosting and just talking to people and being in an Oprah state of mind, because I just love her. No comparison whatsoever. I did get to wear her wig once.
Oh my God, which one?
I wore Oprah's wig once. It's this big, like curly one. We did this partnership, and it was like, we recreated, Own was having, her magazine, I think, was having like some sort of anniversary. Oh, wow. And we recreated, and like her stylist brought Oprah's actual wig, and I got to wear one. It was so great.
No, it really is like, I tried on her shoes, but it was by accident. It was when they had the
where are you that you accidentally try on Oprah's shoes? What?
No, it was. So I went to her show one time.
Yeah.
And they had a store. This is back in the day when they had there was a store attached, and it didn't last very long. But there was a while when she had like a Harpo store.
Okay.
So we go into the store, whatever. I'm just sucking up as much Oprah as I possibly can. Yeah. Whatever I'm buying. And there was a little section called Oprah's wardrobe, and it was really, I guess it was like for charity, where she started selling her wardrobe items, like as a donation for charity or whatever.
Yeah.
They had a little display, and there were some shoes, and she wears a size 10. So I was like, I'm going to try an Oprah shoe. And so I put on Oprah's shoe, and the people from the store like ran up and down. No.
Like slow motion.
Dun, 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 dun. And I was like Dorothy with like the rubies. And I was like, it's Oprah, and it was literally like that. They were like, I'll get you, my pretty.
Oh my God.
We don't let people that's for display. And I was like, all right. But I was like, too late. I've already sucked up all the energy of the shoe. It's too late. She's in my bones now.
Seriously.
Was this before or after doing Hair Tales?
No, this was pre. She was still on the vision board.
That gave you the magic
absolutely.
To get.
Listen, honey, it was 15 years from vision board to Oprah. It was Oprah on the vision board. It was going to the show. I touched the shoe. Oh
my gosh, that's
and
amazing.
Then it was like the Hair Tales. I was like, yes, I made it to Oprah.
I love it.
So whatever we got to do to suck it up.
To get a little bit of that Oprah juju.
Absolutely.
No, it was great. So hosting, I love it. Yeah. My friends always say like, when's your talk show? When's your talk show? I'll take it, girl. I will take it.
Absolutely.
But I love that space. And I messed it up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Hosting, I could absolutely see a talk show in my future because as you can see, I love talking.
I can too. We're going to manifest. We're going to claim it. We're going to claim it.
But a lot of other things too. Like I really am, as I say, happy chaos. Like I still love songwriting. I love that. And music is still something that is really just a core part of me, you know, it's what I do to amp up even for interviews, for the red carpet, all of that. Like I have to have like music going, and I love writing in that way too. And also just, I don't know, like finding a space that is like really kind of incorporates all the different things that I do. I don't know exactly what that is yet. But I do a lot. I can't cook, but I do a lot.
Oh, is that the one thing you don't do? We found something. We found something she doesn't do.
I cook my way out of a paper bag. But that's what my husband's for.
Well, you don't seem like you get nervous.
No, you don't at all.
I don't?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Do you?
That's good. Well, I do get nervous. I get butterflies. And I take that as a sign that everything's going to be great.
Oh, amazing.
So I like channel it. I'm very big in like reframing.
Right.
I'm big on the reframe. And
They
so
say
it's like,
anxiety and anticipation like feels the same.
Were you nervous when you went to Cannes?
Oh, I was nervous when I went to Cannes. Only because I had never been. I didn't all the way know exactly what I was doing out there. But I knew it was going to be really important and audience facing and global. And I was like, but it was also something I leaned into even while being nervous. Like, you know, I had seen some other journalist friends go and they had raved about the experience there, being able to, you know, speak on behalf of brands and just talk about what's coming down the pipeline, talk about advertising, all these different things. Cannes Lions is what we're talking about.
Right.
And I'll go to the Cannes Film Festival too, if you want me to.
Oh,
but
yes.
we're talking about
Go
the
to
Cannes
all the
Lions
Cannes. Listen,
Festival.
all the events in Cannes you want to go to.
Don't you worry, I'll be there. But I, you know, had heard about it. I was like, let me just raise my hand and say, you know, I don't think I was on anybody's bingo card to like, you know, fly out to Cannes. And I knew we were activating out there. I said, hey, how can I be a support? You know, I'm officially editor at large and host now of the brand. Use me.
Absolutely.
Let me be at large and hosting.
At large in Cannes. Cannes sounds very at large.
And I, you know, it worked out. Like it almost didn't work out. It was like I wasn't going to go, and then I ended up, you know, going and
you had to ask a couple of times before you were able to get it, right?
I did. Because, you know, like as we're working out like what the activation is going to be, how we're showing up in the space, they're figuring out like partners that we may or may not have. Things were fluctuating.
Right.
And at one point it wasn't going to happen. And then, you know, not long before they were like, no, yes, we want you. We need you. You should go. And I was like, yes. Okay. What am I going to wear? First off. But it worked out. And I got to, you know, MC, host one of our big parties that we threw out there, launching the People app, which was so exciting. And I showed up, you know, to a bunch of different things. And then as I was going out there, other companies hit me up and said like, hey, would you mind, you know, moderating this panel? Or, you know, I moderated for the female quotient, which was really cool.
Right.
And, you know, Black at Cannes asked me to moderate while I was there. Just it just all started kind of coming together very shortly before I went, but it all worked out. It was wonderful. I met some amazing people and I was nervous the whole time. Yeah.
One of the things I most know about you, just knowing you socially, is that you're an AKA.
Yeah. These are
the pinky is always up. Pink and green is always in the building.
Oh yeah.
And it's such a huge part of your just personality and social networks. So just talk a little bit about what being an AKA means to you, what pledging was like, and just what being a part of that community is like for you.
Yeah, and I'm giving like Zeta right now.
You are
like
giving
Zeta Blue. Love my Zeta friends, but no, Alpha Gamma Alpha sorority incorporated all the way. I love my sorority, and it is something that I feel like has, even though it's like kind of separate, very separate from my work life and all of that. It has really informed like the woman I am today. And even the career woman that I am. I pledged at Berkeley and those are my best friends. Like, and I remember I had really wanted to go to UCLA because I had always loved LA. And I remember I got into Cal and it was in my backyard. I'm from San Francisco. Berkeley's right over there. I had done stuff on that campus in high school and everything. I was like, I went in, and I ended up joining the organization alongside some of my friends that were in my very first dorm with me. We were on the Afro floor at Berkeley, and we ended up joining AKA together, a bunch of us. And it, oh God, it like the sisterhood, the bonding, the working together, how hard it was, just becoming members together, but also doing the work of the organization, which is, it's a community service-based organization, like getting out there, figuring out what people need, getting our hands dirty, and helping and navigating dozens of, women's attitudes and energies and all of that.
What do you mean?
We're not all the same.
Are women different?
Oh my goodness. No. Look, AK and Row Chapter, not a monolith, okay, at all. And including even to now, I'm in an alumni chapter here in Los Angeles that I love, but I really go back to just those days of figuring out what kind of sister I am, what kind of woman I am, and bouncing things off of this group that is family to me, really. And to this day, when it comes to career stuff, we have a group chat that is all about that. Okay, I'm going through this, and it is doctors, lawyers, you name it, stay at home moms, NFL wives, we have some of everyone. And
I'm sure
this
great
group.
Advice, right?
Yeah, it's great advice. Yeah. When I was thinking about pivoting to the podcast, or what to do after the podcast, that is, I go there. I talk to my husband, but I also go to my girls, and they will give it to me straight and tell me, no, ask for more.
Right. It's always a great reminder. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. So I love my AK.
Something we always, we ask all of our guests is just what's your current definition of success, and how might that have evolved for you over your career?
Getting to bed at 10 p.m. would be my current definition.
Winning.
That is for a mom.
It's everything.
It's wait, I got them down at 8 and 9 respectively. And then I got a little bit of time to and then this is great. This is a good, successful day.
Right.
Outside of the house, I really think that being joyful and excited and interested in what I'm doing, which I am right now at this stage in my career, feels so successful for me. It's not really, accolades in that way or anything like that. I, get excited to do what I do. I get nervous still. I get, just this joy comes over me when I leave things like this or, a red carpet or whatever it is. I'm like, I get to do that. I'm really, I feel successful in the joy that I have about what I get paid to do.
Right.
So that's it. I wouldn't mind more success.
Sure.
In other ways, financial, Birkin bag, but not minding that at all. So open to it. Bring it on. But yeah, that's what it feels like for me now. And keeping that same energy.
Right.
As if this doesn't excite me anymore, or if this doesn't feel like it's oh, okay, it's whatever, then that won't feel successful for me.
Right.
What is the next thing? Constantly, my mom says, you don't sit down. Yeah. You never sit down. But that there's success in that to me, constantly striving.
Right.
I sometimes I think I say this to my husband. He's like, don't put that out there. And I was like, but to have everything must be so boring.
He's like, let's try,
no,
shall we?
Let's try. Yeah. We want everything. Yeah.
Let's be bored out of our minds, actually.
Yeah. But I do. I read this book years ago when I was working in the book room. I would get caught up in there, because these amazing books would come through. And it was called The Happiness Index. And it talked about that, about being in that middle striving area, you know, like think of the middle class, think of like whatever it is where you're working, constantly working towards and for something.
Right.
There is so much joy and excitement and peace in that. That, you know, you're not idle. You're not, you know, trying to figure out, you know, you're not struggling. That's that's hard.
Right. You're not where you want to be at. You feel more.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's not in that way of like, how do I keep it? How do I just, you know, like, I feel like
it's not a panic based thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's, okay, what's next?
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Janine. This was so great.
Thanks for having me.
You're not fired. See, you made it through your exit interview. But it's just so great to hear, like I said, people normally have to bounce around so much, like how you've been able to like stay relevant to yourself, stay relevant within your company, and like just the joy you have for working. I really think that really is success so much, just to like wake up every day and love what you're doing. And to be able to lean in it and still be like eager and like what's next, you know, like what's around the corner. Like it's such a rare place to get to sometimes, especially like when you get to like the upper parts of your career.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey, because a lot of people listening to this podcast are contemplating a transition, but a lot of those people also want to stay and grow within their company. And I think you've been able to share just how somebody can successfully do that.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me. This was lovely.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Right. Thanks for having me.